I'll have to check it out after the fact. So anyways, yeah, Qinshan is the only one that's active, it seems. So let's look at this on Google Earth and see if we can find it, because Google Maps isn't going to tell you. Yeah, that's where I thought it was. Oh, it's this. Oh, okay. I thought it was this over here, but that's just another chemical plant. So what's going on here? So there's the plant, and we have no concept of how far off the ground it is, except that maybe we can get a elevation profile by doing this. No, come on. So that's at least 30 feet off the ground. And there we go. $30 feet off sea level, I should say. But that looks like the natural, yeah, that's the natural coastline. So it's going to be really hard to see like how far up does this go? Is it like that bank right there? So if everything below this point is at the same level, then it's like 80 feet. Then that's almost 16, 17 meters, is that right? So the question is flooding from Three Gorges Dam, is that going to cause a problem at Qinshan nuclear plant? So let's say it's built up, and this is the natural coastline, or the natural coastline here. First of all, the flooding, in order to, if you have 12 feet of flooding on this part of the river and it spreads out all the way down here, you're talking only a couple feet, if that. There's no way that any upstream flooding is going to impact this plant. We're talking enormous amounts of water. And then, by the way, this is the wrong bay. So I set myself up for a big fail right here. Qinshan nuclear plant is on the wrong side of Shanghai. As we can see here. It's this is the river that comes from the Three Gorges Dam. Is it possible that flooding is going to just totally, you know, yeah, I don't know, because this is the downriver path from Three Gorges, so right through Hubei. Where's Wuhan? Someone said that Wuhan was downriver from Three Gorges. Yeah, okay, Hubei is Wuhan. And yeah. So all of this feeds into that same river. Into this bay near Shanghai. So like, you know, we're talking dozens of feet of flooding on this river. Has to fill that entire bay for Shanghai to be threatened, first of all. Second of all, the nuclear plant is not anywhere near that river. That's the only active one. You know, I've got this story where when I got my atomic merit badge, I was thinking up, I'm going to think of all the ways I could blow up a nuclear plant. Man, that annoyed my dad so much. He's like, you're not going to build a nuclear plant next to an active volcano. You're just no, stop. You're not going to do that. It's not going to happen. It sounds fun. And this is the anti-nuclear mindset. It's a, you know, they're having fun with the concept, the idea of something being able to blow up is just so fascinating. It's like a science fiction movie in their mind. It just goes round and around and around. It's a bomb. All of them are bombs, right? Well, no. It's no more a bomb than your car is a gasoline bomb. In fact, your car is more explosive than a gasoline bomb. So let's cover this one more time. The Three Gorges Dam, if that floods, Wuhan, oh man, is going to have, Hubei, Wuhan is going to have a really terrible time. Let's get there it is, all the way up there. And all of the thousands of miles of river before it gets to Shanghai. And I'm going to set this pin permanently here. Yeah. That's, oh, no, I don't want that. This is Qinshan, A-U-N? Nope, A-N. Qinshan nuclear plant. Thousands of miles of river, and it's on the wrong side of the bay. So Three Gorges Dam is going to cause huge flooding, huge loss of life if it goes. And the result for all of the nuclear plants in China is nothing. These are all coastal, except for a few that are all south, that are planned, that are on a different river. Is that right? No. See, this one, Xianing, looks like it's close. Let's figure this out. So if Xianing was finished and not under construction, would it be in trouble? No. Look at that. That's not even on the same river. That looks pretty fantastic. I mean, if that's, oops, I don't want, to draw a path. I want to move that. Delete. That's the problem. So where are they putting this? Let's think. Where would you put a nuclear plant if you were building one, right? Because I don't think that's a rice field, or I don't know what that is. Maybe though. Oh, there's some hills there. I would use sort of a good foundation. So it's got to be close to those hills. Those looks like some solar panels. I would guess that it's right there. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so if that is under construction, if that was finished, it's not on the right river. It's on the other side of this mountain range from the river that's going to be flooded. Okay, who's next? Qinshan. We don't even have the... Let's get the coordinates from here. Oh, there we go. Okay, this one could be in trouble, right? No. It's at the confluence of these two rivers, but that's really close to Wuyang. That is going to be an urban nuclear plant. That's exciting. But yeah, the Three Gorges, you can just imagine what will happen to Qinshan if that flooding wipes. Yeah, so that would cause a big floodplain. This looks like just historic flooding has been up and down this area. I mean, it looks like farmland that gets constantly flooded. It's got to be some very fertile farmland if it's not underwater. It's hard to, this is like Google doesn't even know what's going on here. Yeah. That's right, Andrew. They done. If this flood comes like right now, I wonder what these two cities look like right now. So where am I going to put a nuclear plant if it's over here? Xiaomoshan. I'm not going to put it in the middle of the city. Yeah, I'm not going to put it there. Oh, I like this area. That'd be nice. But I would put it, it has to be near really stable bedrock foundation and good access to water. Look at this place. Okay, that's the city. Right here. Okay, let's say your villas, your little whatever you got going on there, that's gone. This is going to be our nuclear plant. This is going to be our theoretical Xiaomoshan nuclear plant. Okay, so is that one going to cause... No, it's, well, yeah, it's... This area is going to... All of the earth there is just going to absorb so much water. Maybe just the volume of water, not just from Three Gorges, but from this entire Dongting Lake and all of this area might be a little... Okay, so that's... Let's say this is the most vulnerable nuclear plant if it ever gets built. How far up the side of this hill would this thing be? $150 feet. That's like, if, as long as we're, yeah, this is a really great place because that elevation profile goes way up, and you just need to be 100 and some feet to not have to worry about flooding. The problem with Fukushima was that, oh yeah, and that's off 62 feet. So okay, so that's only 60 feet off the plane of the river. But with Fukushima, let's go there. Yeah, Daiichi. That is indeed Fukushima Daiichi. So the problem here is that come on, draw me a path. There we go. Yeah, that's not a very big rise. And so that structure there is only 10 to 13 meters tall, and that tsunami went over the top, and the generators were right in the basement of these mechanical buildings. There's some video on my YouTube channel of that, or not video, but stills from Reed Tanaka talking about the backup generators. They shouldn't have been in the basement. They should have been on the roof. So what can you do if your generators are at 32 feet when they should be on the roof? Well, you put them on the roof. No one's going to make that mistake again. Guaranteed. No one is going to build their nuclear plant in a floodplain with their generators underground, hiding from a tornado, which is literally how Fukushima was designed. It was designed to be in the US Midwest. So there's the problem with, you know, just imagining something like that happening here. You saw it was 20. Where's that elevation profile? Yeah, 30 feet here. So Fukushima versus Qinshan. 45 feet? More? My guess is that it goes up, is that it's 60 feet. It's high enough they don't need a bay. They don't need a barrier, a seawall, because this entire plant is way elevated off the bay. It looks like Diablo Canyon. Let's talk about that one too. First, I'm going to go put a pin in Fukushima, just so we can have this comparison. Fukushima Daiichi, by the way. Fukushima is like the name of the entire prefecture. So don't make that mistake of saying, oh, well, it's Fukushima. That's like saying New Jersey, the New Jersey nuclear power plant. Well, there's dozens. It'd be like saying the Washington nuclear power plant. We've only got one. So that might, you could just say, well, Washington is going to blow up again. What do you mean? Our entire state is going to, the mountains, the volcanoes are going to blow up? No, your nuclear plant. Well, where's that? Who knows? Let's start one at a time. We'll go to Diablo Canyon. How far off the ocean is this one? Could a tsunami hurt this plant? This one, does it have... Oh, it does. Google doesn't model any of the sensitive buildings. It's pretty good policy. Look at that. Look how big. Even the natural cliff is above 60 feet. So that's twice as high as the Fukushima Daiichi plant. 3 times as high when you actually... And this is just the natural elevation of this piece of earth right here. Maybe they might have even dug into it a little bit, but... So Diablo Canyon... No problem there. This is being shut down not because of any safety concern, not because of any seismic concern. This is being shut down because that water is a once-through system. So there's a standard that says this water has to go through cooling towers. You have to use it more than once because it'll... I mean, if it goes into a river, it would kill all the fish in the river if the temperature gets too hot. But this isn't going into a river. This is going into the ocean. And at the same time, there are gas plants that have the same concern. Tony L. said, so how do the Three Gorges and other dams and the God particles? Three Gorges Dam. I don't have the up-to-date information on Three Gorges, like exactly how high the water is. I know that Three Gorges it was above like the 6-foot mark inside the dam, and that was the last news that I heard this morning. So I got a bunch of questions from YouTube now. Is the water at Diablo Canyon too muddy to be used? No. Not at all. In fact, they take it in and they have this process up here where they can clean any water that they take in. I think that's what this is part of. So they'll actually pump the water way up and clean it before they use it in the plant. If it has too much salinity, if it has, if it's the wrong composition, that might be something else. I'm not sure, but it looks very much like what Columbia station has in terms of a pool of water for cooling the plant. Because as you know, oh, you lost audio? I've got audio. Check, check. Yep. I could go check it out on the YouTube site. YouTube site. And indeed, we're live there. Yep. Hope you fix your audio. I'm gonna mute this. So the wave height at the ocean in China, it is the river floodplain. It's a vertical, not a linear. So Ari asks about, let's go back to Qinshan. Here, this is the nuclear plant that's on the ocean that we would have to worry about, and here's that elevation profile again. There's the natural land there, but if you look at this picture, if you look at how flat and how built out this is, I'm guessing that it's closer to 60 feet. I'm betting that it's way up there. Because they built that big concrete structure along that shore. Because that's either radar mapped, so maybe it's 40 feet. I mean, pick a midpoint. Maybe it's 40 feet. Could be. I would bet that it's at least 40 feet. If this is a radar sampled elevation, and that was constructed when the radar sampling happened, yeah. I don't understand the V-shaped lines, but really that's a non-issue for the Three Gorges flooding, because as I pointed out a little bit earlier, this is the wrong bay. The Three Gorges Dam does not run into this river. There's Three Gorges. There's the map of Three Gorges. The Yangtze River is north of Shanghai, not south. Qinshan is on the south of Shanghai. And so here are two nuclear plants nearby that could be impacted. So Qianning, again, not on that river. The Yangtze is up here. But here's a planned nuclear plant next to Qinshan, Yueyang. There's this planned nuclear plant. In fact, it put it right in the middle of this city, which is not going to happen. But I think if I was planning it, I would put it here. And the elevation profile here is really exciting, because look how high that natural elevation profile gets. So yeah, if you put your nuclear plant up here, you know, you're right next to a floodplain, which is great for water access, but you got some bedrock, hopefully, because of those hills. So let's go back to Diablo Canyon. The reason this plant is being closed is because the state of California wants that water to be cooled in cooling towers and evaporated instead, or reused instead of going out to the ocean. They say it would be a big problem if this was on a river. It would kill the fish, possibly, if it was too much of a temperature difference. It would definitely be a problem in a river. But the state of California, PG&E, they have gas plants. And gas plants in California are going to be allowed to use once through cooling, but not your nuclear plant. No. Special rules. Special rules for Diablo Canyon, because it's bad. So let's go to my local community-owned nuclear plant, Columbia Generating Station. There we go. Check that out. So this even has some cooling towers. We're not going to get building profile, thanks Google. No, not maps, images. Tony, you're right. Yeah, those elevations are going to vary. I'm sort of guessing as to what those elevations are. So here you can see we've got some low-rise cooling towers. So those might be 20, 30 feet tall. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't want to draw a line from China to Colombia. Yeah, so these cooling towers are only, dozens of feet tall, not hundreds. The reactor building here is going to be hundreds of feet tall. And this area, I think this is where water from the river comes in and may be treated so that it's good enough for the plant. That's why I was saying that there's a water treatment, that blue, really nice blue water next to the fuel storage pads might be the water treatment at Diablo Canyon. But yeah, there's Columbia Generating Station. Is that Washington Power 3? I think that was 3. So let's draw our elevation profile here. Of course, so yeah, the river is at 350 feet, and there's just so much land in between. No, if anyone tells you that that Columbia Generating Station could be affected by a flood, you could just laugh. We can look at Hanford. This is where the plutonium was bred. It's literally across the street from a civilian nuclear power plant. Same security zone, you can't drive around here. I got close when I was here for a am I facing the right way? Yep. Where was I? We had a conference here. So that's how close I was. I couldn't even get... Maybe it was up here? No. Keep making paths instead of selecting. Nope, I was not allowed up there. That's even... This is PNNL where the conference was. Right in this nice building. I think. Yeah, that was it. So that's as close as we got. And then we were driven through here up to, is this LIGO? No, that's not LIGO. LIGO is somewhere up here. Yeah. There it is. Oh yeah, I should have noticed the L's. That big L. The two gravity. Ari says he sees an active site at Woohoo. So we're talking about Woohoo City. Well, it says planned right there. But we can check it out. Where would I put it? Oh yeah, this would be a good spot. If there was a, see, this is in the middle of the city, so and it is planned. So let's imagine, if you will, where would you put the nuclear plant? Is there a lake? Yeah. Let's assume that it's somewhere near here. Again, another nuclear plant right in the middle of the city, possibly. Man, China's just with gusto. Well, Ari, I'd love to see your source if you think that's active. Let's Google it. Bamoshan nuclear plant. Initial phase planned. That was in 2008. Bamoshan. 4 reactors, 1,000 megawatt each. What is the timeline? IEA is a pretty good source. There we go. CN42. Is that that's this one? Reactors planned for construction, December 2009. Planned. In 2006. Oh, here's, oh no. Planned for construction. It's red on the map. This one, well, the name is red, but the dot is blue. Firmly planned. Yeah. The name is red, but the dot for Woohoo is blue. And here, we'll look it up. It's in plan. We'll look at the name of the plant. Yeah, if I mean if you can find an active plant on the Yangtze River, it would be really exciting to talk about. But I don't see it. Let's guess. Where would you put this plant? Do we see any hills? It is flat. That is a big city. I'm not gonna put it right next to a giant city. I mean, I could put it out here. There's no elevation gain here, is there? Yeah, oof. I mean, it's a big area and not likely to take on dozens of feet of flooding, but you know, you just got to think about, you got to plan ahead. Oh, moving too fast. Yeah, I don't know where they were going to build this. There's some hills over here. That's maybe 100 miles away. China is such a big place. It's hard to get sense of scale. Maybe that's not hundreds, but dozens of miles away. Yeah, 30 miles away. Second line is ISSOU. What's that? Nothing. Active plants. So we got Tianwan, Sandmen. All the exciting stories are about Sandmen. That's the new plant. Qinshan. Oh, it's adjacent to Qinshan. Okay, so we've got, so maybe that's what I was misidentifying. Oh, there we go. Coordinates, thank you. So I guess this is another nuclear plant next to Qinshan. Right there is another plant. You can look at the elevation profile there. Way up 100 feet. 70, 80. And again, this could be radar. This could be early USGS, which is radar or something like that. Might be built up, might be flattened out. But we've got coordinates now. That looks exciting. That looks like a... This looks like a coal plant. Look at that stack. I'm not sure about that. Let's think about this. Where's this? Qinshan. Oh yeah, that's the one near Woohoo, but is that a nuclear plant? I mean, there's definitely a fossil fuel plant there. There's literally barges offloading coal. I mean, yeah, you found something, but looking at that stack, Where's the reactor vessel? Yeah, I bet this is coal. I mean, I'd love to. I'd love to hear more details. Let's talk about what happens to fossil fuels. That gets hit by the flood. What's that gonna do? Oh, 30 feet, huh? It's a fairly narrow part of that river, too. Is that the Yangtze? That is the Yangtze. If you get 30, 35 feet of flooding, you know, you're washing down what kind of toxic sludge is gonna come downriver and poison everyone. No fun. No fun for sure. They must have barges coming in there. I mean, look right here. Whenever the Google snapped this photo, there were 2 barges hooked up. It's something like 70 train cars a day. And this might be 2 boilers. So, yeah, they're just constantly bringing coal downriver. Causing all sorts of respiratory problems. That's what powers the world still. Unfortunate. Jean says coal is not poison. Would you like to eat some? What was the yeah, the coal ash spill, not Kingston. Yeah, it is Kingston. Kingston fossil plant, Tennessee. Let's talk about how coal is a poison. So this plant right here. Oh, and look at those train cars. All that. Actual coal cars. Train tracks coming in right to here. And you talk about a natural disaster. All that is a dam that held coal ash, became inundated, became flooded, and just wiped out. This right here wiped out all of this land. That's what this dead field is. This I mean, looks like they're going to build houses here, maybe someday. But right now it's a dead zone. This is a coal dead zone. This is the aftermath of the Kingston. Look, they're still. Is that? Are they decontaminating this or what? I don't know. Oh yeah, this is construction work. They're still cleaning it up. They're just carting away the dirt. It's how long has it been? Oh, 8? Is that 12 years ago? Come on, silly. Yeah, 12 years ago, and they're still cleaning it up. Jean says that it's not radioactive or anything, but it is. Coal brings up uranium out of the ground. There's more uranium in coal ash, but it doesn't matter because the dose that you get from the uranium in coal ash is insignificant compared to your background radiation. You will get radiation no matter where you are, in a cup of water. Tritium. It's everywhere. I love it. Woohoo, nuclear plant is planned, yes. Yeah, a coal ash spill. You definitely do need to decontaminate. And it's a dead zone. They're not growing anything there. They're not building anything there. That was the Qinshan ash spill. You can see this area right here. That's this. Was it up here in this pond? Yeah. And there it is. There's the new gravel they put down. Bet they're not dumping a lot less coal ash up there now. Imagine living next to that. What it would smell like. That's where methane emissions. The largest source of methane emissions is coal mining. Oh, Ari says planned 2016. Oh, interesting. Well, if it was planned in 2016 to come online in 2016, that was probably over 10 years ago. So we'll hear about it because of Fukushima. Every nuclear plant has been delayed by 5 to 10 years, and that's a fact. Unfortunately, that we don't have the capacity to see the actual effects of what happened there. So let's do it one more time for the people who are arriving. Here's Three Gorges Dam. I'll just jump straight to Three Gorges Dam. Water level at least 6 feet above where they would like it to be in the danger zone. Is it good for a 10,000-year flood, 1,000-year, 100-year flood? We don't know. If there is a lack of oversight in the construction of this will be a monumental disaster. There will be many lives lost, unfortunately, and that's really scary to think of that. All that water, and all the water that's being accumulated just in the area in general, coming down the Yangtze River all the way to Shanghai. So what's the danger posed to nuclear plants? Well, the closest nuclear plant that's active right now, Qinshan, and there's a sister plant up here. I forget the name immediately, but this is the closest plant. It has a bit of elevation, and this is probably old data in terms of what that elevation profile is. So I'm guessing it's at least 40 feet. How does that compare to an actual nuclear plant disaster. Go right here, right up to the reactor buildings here. About 30 feet. Right there where the mechanical building is, where the backup generators were in the basement. 30 feet off the sea level. And you know we're not going to make that mistake again. We're not going to put backup generators in the basement hiding from the tornado that will never come. The tornado that was designed to avoid would happen in the Midwest United States, in Kansas. That's the great disaster of Fukushima. It was a nuclear plant designed for Kansas and put in a floodplain. So back to the Three Gorges Dam. This is the path of the Yangtze River through Wuhan, through Nanjing. We have several planned nuclear plants that might be in its way. Xiaomoshan, I'm guessing it puts it in the middle of this city, but I'm guessing it's right, it'd be something like right there. Like there's even going to be, one of the commenters found a coal plant near another planned nuclear plant site, and it was, a couple miles outside the city. Well, the Fukushima was a disaster. There were hundreds of people killed by the evacuation, and there's no question that they had to evacuate. I mean, if it was made optional, what would the answer be? What would you tell the nurse caring for that elderly man and women in the community that they had to stay, and so you'd either have to force everyone to stay or let people leave, and then you have to evacuate people under their care. So yeah, I won't say that there was no damage from Fukushima. I'd say there's a great deal of damage. It was almost 10 years ago though, and we see far more people died when Japan brought back their fossil fuel production. How many people died from introducing more coal, more natural gas, more oil burning to that nation? So I think Ari found this one. So this was there's a planned nuclear plant near Wuhu. I couldn't find it, and I'm not sure where they would put it. There's not a lot of rock around here. But this is a coal plant. At least hundreds of megawatts, if not thousands, right here. Barges and barges of coal coming in. 30 feet. Oop, don't want that. It's about that coal ash, like Kingston Ferry. 35 feet off the water. Maybe those barges take the coal ash away. That would be the smart thing to do. You bring the coal in and you ship the ash out. There's a little bit less ash after you're done burning it. It's less mass because the mass goes up in the sky. Unfortunately, the mass lost in a nuclear reaction is less than a subatomic particle. Fact. You take a uranium atom and you fission it, and then you get two atoms out. The total count of subatomic particles in those atoms that come out is the same count as what you started with. So what mass was lost? It's the binding energy. It's a fraction of the mass of a subatomic particle, and we still get a huge amount of energy. The shortage of water and desertification. Well, it's in general, the danger of climate change is that it's change. It's that we don't understand which direction change is happening, and we're not ready for anything to be a great deal mismatched from what we've adapted to. Not adapting, whether it's too much water or too little, those are both problems. We will see, some parts of the world. What parts of the world are we going to have less water? We could see, maybe, we will see, well, definitely around here, Syria. This is the part of the world where we have far less water than we would like. Massive migration out of Syria from war, from lack of farmland, from, becoming even more of a desert. The Dead Sea, every year, less and less water. And this is a geologic change. So this is just probably has nothing to do with climate change. But the Dead Sea losing water every year. I think that's geologic. I don't think that's climate related. A lot of areas up here, I would be concerned about. Turkey losing rainfall. Places in South Africa, not as much rainfall as they used to have. Places in California. California, we have so many people in the southern part of the state. We have far more people in the southern part of the state than the water supply can support. And so we steal water from Northern California and just funnel it straight down to LA, and there are people in the middle of the state who can't afford the water that they live on, and it's illegal for them to drill to bring the water up from the well and yet we have companies like Nestle stealing or buying water, municipal water, quote unquote, rights for the corporations to steal water. Well, we think we have money in the USA. We think we can solve everything with money, but the problem is that we spend all of our money on war. We don't want to spend it on the people. That's a big problem. Back to Three Gorges Dam and the what else did we have here? There's Wuhu. That's the closest one. Xianing, nowhere near the Yangtze River, and also under construction. And Xiaomoshan planned, and right there at the confluence. So there's not much risk of flooding.